Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
Faith. The same faith that had sustained Cadia's defense in those darkest of hours began to recede. Valor faded alongside, not just from within the ranks of Creed's swollen regiment, but also among the Capic Evils and the Vostroyans so recently set loose from Trezin's prison. As for the Black Legion, they cared not that the better part of their demon host was swept away and the remainder weakened. They saw only the physical proof of their ancient belief. The false emperor's light was fading and took new strength from the sight.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Stephen Fore, and Mike Haspil. What's happening, guys?
Yo, dog.
Yo, what's happening?
Hey, everybody.
That was I'm sorry, Robbie. That was like a hybrid smooth jazz and like pop radio is what I was feeling off that. I was like, it's more uppity, but it was still smooth and crisp at the end of the words. I liked it, Robbie B. You're like a Rubik's Cube, always changing.
Always changing. They call him the Magic Man.
The Magic Man. Now you see me.
Haspil, can you do that one quote that you just did again? What is like the part that made me cry and made me super happy to be Chaos? There at the end when he's like, oh, the fading light.
So they saw only the physical proof of their ancient belief. The false emperor's light was fading and took new strength from the sight. That's
going to be my sweet back tattoo.
Dude, what's mine say?
Yep. I'm going to have to just trust you guys. You're going to have to come to the tattoo shop with me and make sure it looks baller.
Yeah. And when you mean baller, you mean your back tattoo because it's so long it's going to go from the top of your spine down to your balls.
36 font. The guy's like, it's going to go down to the balls, dog.
To the taint, homie. Like, there it is.
Fine. Put the exclamation point on the taint.
That doesn't sound like it would hurt at all either. So I think you should just go for it.
I'm saying. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Do it.
I'll get it right after I get my Skrillex haircut.
Oh, that's going to be pretty. We need to post that picture up soon.
I think there's a picture. I'll put it in Discord right now while we're talking.
Yeah.
It might be shopped, but still.
I think I've just decided before we talk about 40K, I think I'd rather have like my eyeball tattooed than my taint. I just want to put that out there. Like that sounds like the worst time in the history of ever.
You just have a different situation than I do.
But bad tabletop market wise.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Well, we do have a great show lined up. We have Andrew, the undisputed best player of Age of Sigmar in the history of ever. He'll be on the show a little bit later talking about his big victory at the LVOs. And then we actually have some follow-up Age of Sigmar releases this week where the prophecy of the second edition Codex book or rule supplement is about to come true. Dun, dun, dun. Remember, gather around, boys and girls. Remember way back to the fall of 2014, early 2015, when I said, Games Workshop's going to really have to put out some combination books that collect up all the rules if they're going to want to keep us into this. Of course, I was talking about 40K, but little did I know that they would do it with Age of Sigmar first.
And there is a product that I'm going to take complete credit for. Because I had that idea. GW also had that idea, but I had that idea. So I'm taking credit for it. It's mine.
Okay. Well, you're already starting to work there.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, it's your idea.
Yeah.
You probably already sourced it and everything.
Yep.
But the brand new Age of Sigmar Stormcast Codex will be out this weekend along with some other great Stormcast releases. But that's not what we're going to super talk about in Tabletop Market Watch. Of course, that is the brand new stuff. The Age of Sigmar Stormcast Chocobos. Of course, the battle chickens. Because, if you can't ride a wolf in the battle, why not ride a battle chicken?
You're not fucking with me?
Is that
no? They have like some new mounts that, and I gotta say, when I saw it, I thought of the Golden Chocobo.
Oh, without a doubt. So hilarious. But
so you're telling me that's obviously the new mounts for the cool new Skaven models. Is that what we're talking about?
If Skaven have hammers on their shoulder, golden armored shoulders.
No, they don't have that. They don't have either one of those.
Do they have armor?
No. No. Not even shirts. They're shirtless. Damn it! I want some new rules.
Shirts. He's like, nope.
I'm going back and looking in my mind. Yep, no shirts.
Yep. I got a good visual. Nope.
Yep. So damn it. Okay, we're gonna get some cool, something. I want some cool chicken mounts, rooster mounts, something.
Well, I'm all in. You're telling me I can have a giant war chicken? I'm all in.
You have multiples.
So would that mean if two of them were fighting each other, we would have a cockfight in the middle of the battle?
Haspil, what's that link that you made me watch the other day that was the funniest shit ever in our hotel room in Vegas?
Genghis Khan?
With the chicken?
Oh, no, that was the chicken attack. Oh, my God. I got to find that.
We're going to be posting the link here. Obviously, part of this show happens live, so I promise you can find this link from us on Facebook, but it basically describes why chicken mounts are awesome.
I'm sold. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And honestly, I think they're supposed to be more like griffins. That's what they're supposed to be. We're being facetious, and they actually do look very cool. They're really cool. And I'm like, Gryffindor all day, every day.
Ravenclaw. Caw-caw.
Yeah, if you're Hufflepuff, get the F out.
Get the fuck out of this town.
That's for you, Megan.
Everything we say here is pretty much always 100% serious, and you can take us at face value, guaranteed.
And we mean that literally, not figuratively.
I pretty much juxtapose those two words at the wrong times all the time.
Yeah, they basically both mean the same thing. It's as funny and confusing as if you do that with the 90s phrase whack. That's whack. If you just start using it for the opposite intention, that's whack. That's whack, dog. Super whack. It also becomes squanching. Squanching is the same word. So basically, I tried making whack stick a couple weeks ago. It didn't stick, and Bonet super mad at me. I was like, maybe I said that shit was whack. But yeah, just let's just change it officially to squanching.
You know why it didn't work? I'm going to give you some secret tech on why it didn't work. It is going to sound racist, but it's not. It's because that is whack belongs to the token black guy in whatever movie that you're talking about. Oh. That's his job, is to go, that is whack, and throw a little urbanization into it.
And that's
what he does on 90210 or whatever.
So does that mean that we need the opposite of that in our group? I feel like.
Kind of.
To make it work.
Our group is about as average diversified as any group is, I guess.
I think I need to start rocking the fedora now that you don't.
Yeah, I'm with that.
We all know it's a one fedora per crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were definitely, like, I'm going back and I'm thinking, like, we are definitely a melting pot of everything right now, like a southern twang draw Japanese person in myself. Robbie B, you are white and clear mixed together.
He's a ghost robot.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, we've got them all.
Next level white.
I believe my ice cream cone flavor would be white on white triple dip.
Yeah.
Nah, let me get another dip of that. All right, we're good.
You're gonna actually see through his skin.
Kenny, I almost froze to death one time in a hotel room. Kenny kept me alive. Much like the Tauntaun scene in Empire Strikes Back.
I was like, yo, you want to get inside me? He was like, we don't need to go that far.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. The difference is Kenny was fully prepared to cut himself open.
He's like, yo, I feel like just hand me a blanket, dog. Thanks.
That'll be all right. A warm towel for now will be okay.
He saved my life. I'll never forget it.
That was actually Robbie B's two options. You get a comforter or the inside of me.
I mean, I thought about it pretty hard for a second. I was like, wait. Ooh,
you gave it a solid 3 count? Is that what you mean? Like
mostly because I was probably drunk.
Definitely. He forgets his blanket because he was twisted, and he forgot Robbie B's can't be in temperatures below 73 degrees. So that was just poor decision making on his part.
It was pretty bad because that room was definitely 65. I could have died, guys.
Yeah, that's a serious temperature jump for Rob.
Yo, Kenny, you know that it was some shit was going down when this past weekend we're in the Beats lab and we're going, and all of a sudden Robbie B's the one. Like, we're about 45 minutes in. Robbie B's like, is anybody else warm? Might be a little warm in here. And I was like, Robbie B, I was actually thinking in my mind, it's just on the upper end of like, all right, go. I was going to go turn the AC down. Like, that means if I'm feeling that, you're like 11 degrees hotter for you to say that. Like, what's going on? Are you sick? You know, like, what is happening?
So we got the war chickens coming in, $60 for a box.
Oh, is that what we were talking about?
Yeah, right. Full circle.
And we're back.
I think we all want to call them something else, but I'm just going to let it linger. And a special Slaves to Darkness Slambo miniature that I guess will be Finecast or something. I don't know what's going on with this thing. But anyways, that'll be here too for Warhammer, for Age of Sigmar, straight out of the Chaos faction. It looks pretty dope. It's one of those old 80s miniatures. And Warhammer Quest Shadows over Hammerhall will be out next week as well. That's the second, I guess, in the series of Warhammer Quest, kind of Silver Tower type games.
Yes, that is correct, Rob.
Oh yeah, it's looking good.
Yep.
I want those dwarfs. So that's all that's new coming out next week, really, on the 40K side or the G-Dub side.
What I'm looking forward to that's coming out, that is my idea. Taking complete credit for this.
Is Gilliman your idea too?
Is what?
Gilliman.
No, Gilliman is not my idea.
Okay.
But this is War Scrolls on cards. That comes out.
Oh, that's this weekend. The Game Aids?
Yeah. And I cannot wait for that. It was like I was trying to make my own using like a Magic the Gathering, card maker thing. And I cannot wait for that because I don't know how many times I was, messing around with my army and everything. I'm like, I feel like I need all these War Scrolls like on cards. It'd be, fantastic. And apparently, we did get Ashley from Australia did get the GW guys that idea to them, because I was like, oh, you're meeting up with the GW guys, give them this idea. And that was literally the LVO. So I'm proud of them for turning that around as fast as they did.
Very quickly. It was like a week later. Like, that's an exceptional turnaround time.
I mean, like I said, it's 100% win for Haspil, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I was just like, there, you guys took my idea. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. I'm an uncredited author on this. No big deal.
No big deal. I'm glad I get my card.
I mean, but I'm going to claim the authorship in my resumes. Just understand that.
I need that street cred, dog.
Yep. But you guys know what I'm excited for. Adepticon is literally like a week away.
Oh my God. It's literally 5 days from now.
Yep. By the time you hear this,
by literally they mean figuratively.
Yeah. I was like,
it's a month away.
Is today Opposites Day?
No, but we will have in fact, Kenny was just talking to me. So we will have the packet. It should be to Adepticon's hands by Monday, I feel.
Yeah. So the official gangster rules packet, everything will be, we'll make sure that it's in everyone's hands with plenty of time to prepare. The mission is good. The mission is going to be ill, and you guys are going to have all the time in the world to prepare for it. We already know the format works. Let's see how you guys feel about these missions.
I think it'll be pretty dope. I'll be there. Wait. Yep.
You'll be at Adepticon
next week. Yeah, I'll be there.
You'll be you're driving out to Adepticon with us.
Yep. I'll probably. I mean, I might have my mic turned off. Yeah, I might keep my mic turned off though.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
I'm good to eat the croutons off of your salads for you, homie.
Oh, they're not sold separately. I have to buy the salad with the croutons. So I appreciate you taking that bullet for me.
I'm here for you.
And obviously, we're about to talk about Eldar, but one last thing on Adepticon. We've been doing some stuff on Twitch, guys. be remiss in my duties if I didn't mention that there's a new community on Twitch called Miniatures. A lot of things have happened on Twitch really recently. We're currently in a beta search algorithm where they're adding new communities. We currently petitioned and got Miniatures. It's actually in the creative section right now. We are, putting out invite to anyone to start streaming on Miniatures because we feel like it's a better word than figurines for our industry. But talking about Adepticon more specifically, Mike Haspil on Sundays and Thursdays, Road to Adepticon. Also, now we have on Saturdays for the foreseeable future, Ironheaded, new streamers right there. That's in addition to other prospects. And of course, me, my man, Robbie B and Mike Haspil all streaming all the time. And Jason Cray, Slow Fuse Miniatures. Did I mention him? No.
Yep, he'll be there.
So a lot of new things on Twitch, guys. So definitely bear with the change. Find us on Miniatures.
Got some video games.
Yeah, so there's a couple of really cool things going on. One of them is the Warhammer 40K Space Wolf video game. Now, this was available on iOS previously, and I think it might have been out on Android. I'm not sure about that, but it was a pretty fun game. There were some things I did not like about it, and the thing I did not like about it was actually not game related. Really, it was microtransactions. I got tired of having to do the microtransactions. I just wanted to buy the game outright. Well, it sounds like I may get exactly what I want because February 17th, that's like a day and a half from now, it will launch on Steam as an early access game. It is Warhammer 40K Space Wolf. It has a card-built mechanic into it, where you collect cards, make hands, and that's how you equip your squads. It is a tactical-based shooter, and it sounds like they have revamped this game from a mobile game to a PC game. It does not sound like it is a straight one-to-one port. So I am very excited about it. It has RPG elements. It does have a single-player campaign. It has survival mode. It also has PvP. So it comes out February 17th. It will unlock on Steam as early access. I don't know how much it's going to cost, but I can't imagine it's going to be, it's not a $50 or $60 AAA title. So it's a good year for Space Wolves. I mean, with Sanctus Reach and now this, it's going to be, it's pretty awesome. The other thing that's going on is that the alpha for Inquisitor Martyr has started. And it's super easy to get into it. They just basically want you to buy the game. And I think it was $39. This is a Diablo 3, and I guess League of Legends is the same type game, action RPG game. It is, I played the alpha for 2 hours already. There is a monumental amount of content just in the alpha. Now, obviously, since it's an alpha, that's a pre-beta. It means there's a lot of stuff that's going to change. There's balance issues, obviously. It is buggy as well. So if you're looking for a finished product, I would steer clear of it and just wait until it launches. But if you're looking to just drop in and just have a good time, but you're going to weather some glitches and bugs and stuff, definitely jump in on that. It was a lot of fun. I cannot wait to play this with other people. I was just playing the single player, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. They have right now they only have like one Inquisitor class, but they're already, just scrolling through it. It looks like Diablo, where they're going to have multiple different classes that do different things, that are experts at whatever. And it's a lot of fun. Very, good graphics. On about the same level as Diablo.
Diablo, my favorite game.
I hear that was a good game.
Yeah. So, and I mean like Diablo 3, obviously, not like, it's like the original Diablo.
You're not going back to Diablo 2.
So, but yeah, I feel like this thing has some potential. It was a lot of fun. Especially like when you start fighting, things like Nurglings or Nurgle or cultists, stuff like that. It's a blast. It's really good. So check those two games out, guys.
All right, well, let's take a quick break. Come on back with the meat and potatoes of the episode.
Dear veterans, quickly, Make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at secretweaponsminiatures.com have rewarded us all with an extra 10% discount on all Secret Weapon Miniatures merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
ElrixHobbies.com is your exclusive portal to upgrading your hobby. When you sign up at thelongwar.net, you gain an instant promotional discount good for 10% off at Elrix Hobbies. ElrixHobbies.com.
Dear veterans, quickly make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at dicehead.com have rewarded us all with an extra 6% discount on all dicehead.com merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
And we're back. So Eldar are back in it again, guys. They're competitive again. It's amazing. Like, it's been so long since they were.
Don't call it a comeback.
I mean, they really needed this new book. Let's be honest.
I feel like that's the facts. Still got to come back. I mean, I know it looks like they haven't been winning, and they've been getting Dream Crest left and right, but they've been here for years.
Oh yeah. This new Gathering Storm Part 2 book is an incredible tome. I feel like for the new Eldar. Now you can actually field them on the tabletop. And actually, have a fighting chance. So let's go over some of the stuff that I saw in here that I was pretty smitten with. You know what I mean?
I want everybody to know that's driving in their car, that's sitting in their Beats lab painting. I'm going to give it more than the college effort, the try. I'm going to do my best to actually act like I care exactly what we're talking about for the next 20 minutes. I want everybody to know that. I'm not even going to lie.
We're going to pull the fourth wall back right here. No acting bullshit, nothing. Straight up.
I'm going to have to clench my butthole every time I try to say something positive.
Well, that's a really cool special rule. That's what you're going to be hearing for the next 20 minutes.
So first off, just to hit up the first formation, there's one called Ya Needs Net. And that is a formation that contains 4 different squadrons of jet bikes that are in existence in the Eldar faction, the Warlocks, Wind Riders, Reavers, and Skyweavers. Now, what's cool about this is whenever you take these formations in this book, they become Ynnari faction. And Ynnari faction gives you the Soul Burst special action ability, which just briefly, if something dies within 7 inches, you get a special out of sequence attack where you can shoot, you can move, and also turbo boost.
Oh shit, we're already talking about this one.
No, there's two.
Oh, so okay, so this isn't the...
That's just the special rule Soul Burst that it allows you to do.
Yeah, that allows you to do. So they gain that. Where they can also initiate a charge, but you cannot use any of these if you're falling back, pinned, I believe, or if you're locked in combat. So just preference that. So Ya Needs Net this is a separate formation. It is Ynnari, so they lose, any special rules they might have, but they gain that Soul Burst ability. This particular formation allows them to basically come on from any board edge, which I feel like they really needed. It was something that Eldar just didn't have enough competitive advantages. Now bringing down those jet bikes from any board edge is really,
because they oftentimes have to leave their jet bikes in reserves when they're getting someone's going first against them, depending on the matchup. But I see that a lot. And also for late game scoring, because now they have so much offensive ability. But if you can say they can come on any board edge, gangster outflank, that's especially for a unit that can move 50 inches, that is such an advantage to decide like where you begin your 50 and where you end your 50.
I agree.
So if you can just say like I'm here, even if you don't go 50, like if you say I'm here, then I go 2d6 back to here, like you're able to like use this Soul Burst ability to its maximum power because you're able to come on from any board edge, get to that shooting phase where everyone shoots prior to the assaulty move phase.
Yeah,
and literally chain reacts and look for a turn 2 tabling.
So before we go on any further about other cool stuff that they have, the only thing that I will say is that Eldar is so good to begin with that the only way for them to make spicier, cooler, next level badass rules for this Eldar army now, what we've reduced down to is literally, we're going to commend you when you kill something. And when you do that, we're going to let you do any one of the 4 things that you've already done 5 times this turn. You've either moved, ran, shot, ran, turbo boost. You've done all that. Like, if one unit will do all of that, then you get to do an additional thing one more time.
Yeah, but this one's easy to beat because they have to have a unit die within a certain range, so just don't die.
Yeah, just don't die, dude.
And all their stuff doesn't work. That's easy.
It's got an easy counter.
Yeah, get good.
But what else is spicy in here, and that I feel like they really needed this one too, is that anytime you kill something with this formation, or a squad in this formation also itself dies, you gain a warp charge point. So now all those psychers that they have in their army, it's a lot easier for you to cast spells with your
what kind of psychers do they have? Farseers?
Yeah, you could have Farseers, you could have Warlocks, whatever's in your army.
So,
the Eldar.
Yeah, Eldar. So basically what I heard is, cool, we gave blood tithing points to a certain army. So, like, why don't we give Eldar psychic tithing points?
I mean, yeah, because and I know what we can do. This is really good. This actually happened in this book. They got a new psychic discipline too. They got a whole new chart. So this really combos well with that.
So I feel like I need to hear that chart.
I literally am on the edge of my seat to hear what this chart is.
No, because they just honestly had some pretty weak shit before.
Literally.
No, you're right. You're right. Okay, so well, first off, they have a Primaris, so we know how Primarises go. So I'm not hating on this. Like, I think it's a good middle road. It's a leadership kind of witchfire thing. If the guy casting it has a higher leadership, then it's a strength 6. If he has lower leadership, then it's a strength 3 hit. No big deal there, right? Warp charge 1. The second power, the number 1, is the shield. It's a blessing. While it's in effect, all friendly units within 7 inches of the psyker have a 6-up invulnerable. I mean, I guess that's cool. That's decent. Okay.
I'm feeling the balance. I love that standard psychic discipline. Couple of shitty ones in the pocket.
All I've heard was trash, and now we're about to hear like, oh, the next one is like a 14-inch D beam that's also a Nova power at the same time.
Funny you say Nova power. Funny. So the next one is a Strength 3 AP2 Nova Assault 2d6 pinning ignores cover. Now it isn't super strong to punch armor, but it'll do some work on some units, and it's a good thing too. It's very convenient. It's only warp charge 1.
So strength 3 AP2 2d6 Nova.
Ignores cover pinning.
I feel like that doesn't suck. Go ahead.
I mean, it's almost like it's a combo, because all of these psychers that can take the Revenant discipline also have access to Sanctuary or to Santic. So they've got that great Nova power in there too. The one that's strength 5,
cleansing flame.
Yeah, cleansing flame, right? And Sanctuary, so it could they could buff up their invulnerable over there. The third one is Word of the Phoenix. It's psychic power that targets any unit with the strength from Death special rule. That's what confers that soul burst, a special out of action sequence. Now you can trigger it. You can trigger that out of action chain events sequence for multiple units if things die within 7 during the psychic phase. So it gives them more options.
What, do you just automatically allow that unit to have a free turn?
So it says it's a psychic power that targets a friendly unit with a strength from death special rule within 24. That unit can immediately take a soul burst action.
Oh my God.
There it is. Remember what you were talking about, Kenny, earlier in the show? You're like, it's not like you can just do it for free. Like, so
but no, you got to use 2 warp charge for this. So you might be really short on warp charge.
You mean an Eldar player?
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. So what you're just telling me is that from this detachment, you in the psychic phase throw 3 or 4 dice because you've got the ability to manipulate the roll. You do this ball sack power, and then that turn in which You do it, you kill a unit. So what does that do for your army? You get a warp charge back.
Mm-hmm.
So then if you start with, so the math says is like if you start with 10 dice and you cast 4, use 4 of them to get 1 off. So now you have 6. One of your units shoots and kills a unit. Now you're up to 7. Now you cast another 4. You do the exact same thing. You kill another unit. So you should only have 2 dice left. But guess what? Because you've killed 2 units after casting it, you now have 4 dice to cast it for a third time. If you have these many psychers and you get the rolls, you literally, it's an ongoing thing. Go continue.
Yeah, if you get it twice, I would say like if you have 2 forces.
Actually, so when you get that warp charge in your next psychic phase, so you're not gonna be able to stack it in the current one. It looks
so
like.
You do it. So on turn 1, you cast them on like your Wraith Knights, or do they have Wraith Knights in this list?
You could if you take the Reborn, but then you don't take the Unneed or the Incarnate.
Soul Burst. Do they have the ability to have Soul Burst?
Wraith Knight. So anything that's in here automatically loses its faction, becomes a Yunari, and indeed gains that special role. So yes, a Wraith Knight can.
I mean, for just a psychic power now.
Wait, it is non-vehicle, right? Yeah. I guess so.
Yeah, you do. So basically, you can say like I have 4 twice as many D cannons. Like you can say like, I mean, like if you, I mean, it's like I'm just thinking of like what's the big thing that everyone has? Well, everyone has.
Are you ready? You ready for this Webway portal? Because everything in this book is you go Dark Eldar, Harlequins, everything, right? Eldar, you bring it in, cast in Webway portal, 10 Wraith Guard with D weapons, and you're like shoot in the psychic phase, shoot in the shooting phase. That is 20 D shots, before the end of your first turn from 1 unit.
Yeah, there's some hard shit there for sure, man.
And tell me what that doesn't kill. It's like you're gonna.
And then the rest of the list is designed to get you out of position and chain react all in the shooting phase off of that same ability.
And literally, to be honest, like that special ability sounds really cool, and it's not like. But how many to convert a win from a loss or whatever else to win the game, you only really need to convert on 1 turn of like devastating power.
Does initiating a soul burst in the psychic phase keep you from shooting in the shooting phase?
No, not at all.
So also,
no, I mean that power that we read off that lets you initiate one. What does it say?
It's just a psychic. It's just a psychic ability. Let's see. It is a psychic power with no profile.
We're getting some backlash on that in the chat.
Yeah, some folks are saying you can't shoot in the psychic phase and then the shooting phase.
Well, according to this, if you read the Soul Burst special rule here, it says, and I quote, the unit can immediately shoot or run or turbo boost as if it were your shooting phase. So I don't see where there's a restriction here that says you can only shoot once.
There might be something in the book. I know because I know it's not in the main rule book. Because I know for sure you can do both.
If those folks would like to say,
somebody hit us up because we don't want to be. There's the advantage of having a partially live podcast. Let us know if there's a rule we missed. So we
can't shoot in the psychic phase and then in the shooting phase.
Yep, we'd like to know.
Well, I am on page 124 that says strength from that special rule. You can immediately shoot or run into turbo boost as if it were your shooting phase with no restrictions to additional shooting.
Yeah, seems like pretty good to me.
So,
you know what is also nasty? What's the super giant flamestorm cannons that you can buy on Wraith Knights?
The squanch cannons?
The squanch cannons? God. Dude, like there's already 2 of them.
Yeah,
when they drop them. 4 of them, like just here's 2 here, then here's 2 here. Oh, look, I killed something. Oh, 2 more.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. Like, so this is the weird ridiculousness that you can even do in the Reborn War Host. You get 1 selection of the Lords of War. So you could take a Wraith Knight or a Incarnate. But if you take the Wraith Knight, you can still get the Incarnate in because under the formation selection, you could take the Triumvirate if you need. So you could still slab board it in with that and still technically have 2 Lord of Wars in your War Host in your Reborn War Host.
Listening to all this makes me feel like I just got kicked in the you needs.
You're being very needy right now.
I mean, my God.
Well, let's talk about the rest of these powers because they can't all be winners, right?
There it is. Give it to us, Robbie B.
All right, so there's a blessing that targets something within 14, adds 1 to its weapon skill, ballistic skill, initiative, attacks, and leadership characteristics, and they gain the adamantite will special rule.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I wish I had that sounds. If that matter of fact, the Gene Stealer cult, Nid's army, we got some stuff like that, and I get excited about it. I'm like, hell yeah, I finally get a buff. But like compared to what the Eldar usually get, I'm just like, okay, got it. It's not broken. It is pretty classy. I like it.
So Unbind Souls, Warp Charge 2, Strength 4, Assault 1, Soul Reap. So the type of the amount of numbers of shots it gets is equal to the models in the enemy unit. So it's a Witchfire that targets an enemy unit, and you get that many shots. Like if it's 30, you get 30 shots. 10, 5, 5. It's Warp Charge 2. No AP though.
Strength 4.
It is Strength 4.
Cool.
However, if any of the models in the target unit are slain, one friendly unit with this strength from that special rule within 7 gets to make a free soul burst action.
Wait a second. Hold on. So what you're telling me is that if I have 10 Space Marines, you use this psychic ability on me, and that means that's 10 strength 4 attacks, right? And one of my 10 models just dies. One of my lone poor Space Marines just died. The unit that did the shooting gets an additional, or somebody gets a soul burst action because of that?
So yeah, normally you have to kill the whole unit to trigger a soul burst. This one you just have to kill one model. So if there's any friendly unit with that special rule within 7, not necessarily the one that shot it, you get to trigger a soul burst chain.
Oh my god!
I always say chain because I don't see why you wouldn't chain these.
That is unreal. So like guys, also that is unreal. Like at this point in time, you're saying everything is just got soul burst attached to it, and let's not even just talk about the application of this as an offensive output. Like let's say you cast that psychic ability turn 4 when you're out of position, let's say somehow with Eldar because you have infinite speed anyway, but you're like, I really need to haul ass. So, you're trying to slingshot somebody forward, and what is usually on objectives late game? Scouts, Nurglings, Termagants, Bloodletters, or Demonettes, shit like that. And you're like, oh, here's some random 4-up saves. And if that goes off, my bikes are about to double turbo boost in a turn, or my Guardians are going to double run in a turn. Like that's just unreal.
Yep. There's definitely some stuff to watch here.
So that's the level 5. What do we have? There's level 6 power.
So it's just a Warp Charge 3, Witchfire that's Strength 10, AP 1, Assault 1, ignores cover, and invulnerable saves cannot be taken against it. But it's only 12-inch range, so it's got some drawbacks.
Strength 10, AP 1, ignores cover, no invulnerable save. So the only thing you can get is if you're toughness 6 or higher, you can get a feel no pain.
Yeah, it's balanced.
Yeah, it's literally terrible. Like it's not terrible. I take it. I'm not saying it's bad, but that is almost overcosted as Warp Charge 3. It could easily be a Warp Charge 2 thing, but that's solid. That was one of the first things. Hey, Haspil, did they remove Cybolt ammo with all the Grey Knight stuff? Do they have any ammunition?
No, they removed all.
No flamers. The flamers still give invulnerable saves and everything else.
Yeah,
that's kind of
the only way you can get Cybolt anymore is through the Inquisition
Forge World stuff.
No, it's through the Inquisition Codex. So their vehicles can take Cybolt.
Still Cybolt ammo,
stuff like that. Yeah, they took away everything that was good out of the Grey Knights.
Okay. So yeah, I will say that if they are sprinkling that back in, there's a hope and a chance that when new things get updates and stuff, they'll revisit taking something because they've already done it once again. So cool.
Yeah, I agree. But these rules, I think they really help out Eldar. Really giving them that competitive edge back.
It is, yeah,
giving them a lot more options than they used to have. So. Just right there, some really solid stuff. I think we can build off those abilities for sure. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, you want to know what? It definitely makes it to where there there's the chance if people want, I'm actually going to call out all the Eldar players, the true Eldar players. You guys know who you are, like the true Big Dick Bandit Eldar players, the ones who actually have striking scorpions and banshees and, all that stuff on your shelves, that you haven't been playing because you've got all the other aspects, right? And so that's fine, but like something like this brings those aspects back into play, right? You pair it with mass firepower, right? So you get some of your charges off early. You get some of your starbursts off early, and you can throw it on these striking scorpions. You can throw it on these banshees. Like you don't need dedicated transports anymore. Like, I mean, I could see a list. It just basically gives this starburst special ability gives play to every other unit in the book, including Harlequins. Let's talk about that. Like, do you know how good Harlequins are about to be now? Like, we can actually see Harlequins on the board beating the shit out of some stuff because of Harlequins want to be close. Come to find out, you can't even shoot those dudes unless you're within like 18 inches reliably, because you got to roll to see them if they have all their troop masters and everything, death jesters and stuff. Like, I can see firepower paired with Harlequins. You can take a 500 points, 700 points worth of non-quality or non-meta units just because of how good the rest of the book is.
Yeah, because that's what we talk about with Eldar. There's all these other armies out there that get free stuff, like they get the 10 free rhinos or the 300 points and free war gear upgrades, stuff like that. What Eldar has is they have a built-in point reduction. That it's just by design. Like a warp spider is not enough points. Eldar jet bike, not enough points. A unit of Eldar jet bikes with scatter lasers, not enough points. The fact that they can all take scatter lasers, that has not been built into their points. The price tag on scatter lasers, too cheap. The whole codex is built on these types of discounts. So the fact of the matter is, 600 points Eldar do work all day, every day. And so if you compare them with these other things, you're going to get an amazing boost from just having that 600 points Eldar.
What I do like about this new book is the detachment that allows you to combo all these together. Like you can take Dark Eldar, Harlequins, and regular Craftworld Eldar, one formation of your choice, one Lord of War of your choice. It's almost like it's its own CAD, but now you have a selection of 3-4 different factions, all under the same one detachment roof that makes everything Ynnari. So, now in addition to what they already did, now they all get the soul burst ability. So I think that's really solid, and it gives them that competitive edge on the tabletop.
Yeah, because I thought back to a lot of my games at LVO versus Eldar, and against these scat bike armies, the fact that their bikes are objective secure was such a sub note in their decisiveness of their victories over my Chaos Demons. Like it was so meaninless, because he has the ability to be just shooting me from all angles all day, every day, and have me play his game, And so I think about Eldar, and I'm just like, yeah, so if they don't have objective secure on all these bikes, but these bikes are basically getting to shoot twice. Well, if there's a way for them to set up an epic combo that's like, okay, here's the thing. I can't win this in 2 shooting phases. I have to win it now. So we'll go all in, build this chain, make it happen. Like now you can make that decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a pretty cool, extra play to have in your hidden playbook pages.
I'm actually kind of wondering if you can sneak command benefits into here that they are scoring, because it says that you get to keep. Although units cannot normally belong to more than one detachment, units from this formation are an exception. They count as part of both the formation and detachment, and have all associated command benefits and special rules.
Yes, same thing as all the Decurions. So that means of all the auxiliaries and cores that you can pick that are available for you to make that army, one of those would have to have the command benefit.
So I'm wondering what Windrider Host actually has as a command benefit.
So that's what I was saying earlier. So you're literally like, you take your Windrider Host as normal, and you literally just plug it in place. So now all those bikes are now the Yneid stuff. So you get Starburst. Yes. It is.
So Windrider Host is objective secure.
That's what I was wondering. I was wondering what their command benefit is. Let me pull it up real quick.
It has to be, because
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
yeah.
I kind of like hoping that it's not, because I'm like, really, motherfuckers? Best unit in the game. Oh, but we're going to give you a different command benefit. And it's like,
no, they get their shuriken weapons get shred.
Oh, okay.
So they still keep that.
So that's pretty good, though. If you're trying to say I'm trying to chain react.
What else is in here? Anything that might actually have command benefits score? I don't think any. I forget on the Harlequin stuff.
Ooh, are you ready for this one? Could be brought back. What about the Dire Avenger ones? Right, where they get to double tap and stuff like that. Furthermore, guys, what are we talking about? Like, I don't even know. I didn't think about this. Like, how close do warp spiders have to get to you to shoot? They have 12-inch fucking range guns anyway. Dude, do you know what 45 warp spiders is going to look like now with Starburst?
Oh God.
Are you kidding me? Are you
and they're the
why are
unit
we
that's
talking about a jet bike? Like, fuck a jet bike.
Why would you take warp spiders when you can take venoms or like raiders now?
And now you can literally, like, a 45 warp spider list is dead to me. Like, give me 60 warp spiders, 70 warp spiders, because you can take them different formations, detachments, and put them all together here.
Right, because warp spiders are used to having to get in that weird range, because warp spiders have the
infinity jump range.
Like, so you can take them from the one formation where the battle focus. Oh, that's a different Decuron. So whatever, they move, they flicker, right?
Yep.
Then they can battle focus to be surely within 7 inches. Then they do all their damage. Then they assault move back into a better position. Then you go to shoot them. They flicker jump into a better position. They're the most lackadaisically like
do what I want unit.
I do what I want, and you're gonna have to assault me. And I would say, like, damn. And War Spiders is a classic unit we talk about. Like, the points are wrong on that unit.
Points are so wrong. And so now you're telling me my 45. So you're gonna get shot by my 45 War Spiders every turn, because I'm bouncing around until you kill them, right? And then now you're telling me I'm going to get an extra 30 shots worth of it. So I'm going to have 45 on the table, but depending on how many soul burst goes off, or star burst, nut burst, whatever, however many of those go off in a turn, it's going to feel like there's 90. It's going to feel like there's 60 warp spiders on the table at one time, because of all the firepower and shooting.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, because every time it's crazy, because like every time I play against Eldar, the War Spiders, often what they do is they get into great positions with their bikes and their Eldars, that's what I call War Spiders, Eldars. They get their little War Spiders in position. And so what they do is they say, this is my plan. I'm going to shoot this, and this, and blow these things up. Then sometimes they blow this up earlier than the plan indicated, and they had an option select plan already set up. That means these guys that put over here, their backup target was here, right? So now you have this whole new play where when little happy accidents happen like that. As you build this, this little fortress, this ring of death, this caravan of destruction style play, you're able to say like, oh, we blew that up kind of early. So these two units, they get to shoot it there at the unit they were trying to blow up first for, like right now, Starburst attack for free. Then maybe they blow it up then, and now they're free to shoot. Maybe they blew it up, and now there's another fucking Starburst for somebody else, but they still haven't even shot their normal shooting yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and because of just their fact of how fast they are, they're the perfect unit to allow this to happen, because they can leapfrog themselves. Because
they can actually battle focus into position if they need to.
Absolutely. You're like, well, I know that I can battle focus easy to reach this target. I'm actually going to slingshot this starburst to the unit that's like behind me, just so they can make another immediate move right now to leapfrog in front and bubble wrap or do whatever, like they're literally, this unit is going to be moving, shooting, then moving.
Like, obviously, it's going to take a better Eldar player than me to put it together, but I really see like some insane OG, like that my army is designed to completely cripple you on turn 2. You know,
and what I mean, I'm just going to keep going down this rabbit hole. You want to talk about how good they are? Let's just use it against real-time tournament armies. Gladius strike forces that have 11 Rhino chassis on the table and units. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to believe that once they move mid-board, that you're always that your Eldar
all 10 Rhinos are gone.
Yeah, that your Eldar little units are all going to be within 7 inches, depending if they want to, with a billion units. So it's not like you're like everybody's driving in their car like, why are these guys over exaggerating this? Like, I'll just deploy backwards. I'll just this. Now that's a Maelstrom mission, so they just win Maelstrom for free because you don't want to engage them in fear of their 7-inch, chain attacks, right? So you bum rush the middle, or you do whatever you got to do, try to tie them up, try to whatever, and next thing they know, they literally get to shoot you 1.5 times because I guess we need to look at the math on that, is try to figure out how many extra shots a turn can you reliably get between just having the soul burst, having psychic abilities, having loaded warp charges from the previous turns of how many units you've killed.
It's definitely going to be based on opponent. Like, I think against a Gladius, you can set a fucking alpha.
So I think the template that we're going to flesh out here that's going to emerge competitively the formation will feature the you needs net. That's all this. You're not going to be able to get command benefit. You're not going to be able to score, but they're going to you get one formation. So you're going to take that you needs net that we talked about, so you can stack all those abilities and come out from the board edge, right? And then they're just gonna stack the spiders, like 3 squads of them, and then maybe combo this with Marmera.
No, you can also. What is the aspect host? The warp spider aspect host that gives him +1 weapon skill or blitz skill. Yeah, you literally you take one of those in this detachment.
Can that be taken in the Decurion?
You
could, but you would give up the needs net. So
which that only allows you to come in off table edges. Like, that's dead to me. If we went at this wrong, I'm sorry. I was bitching about jet bikes in the beginning. A jet bike is dead to me right now. Like, if you want to use this to the max potential, you bring literally as many warp spiders as God-given possible. I'm dropping every Wraith Knight. I'm dropping everything else, and I am only running warp spiders. There's nothing in the game really that, besides a Lamb Raider or whatever else, that I'm going to run into much of, where I'll actually throw some D-artillery in the backfield just in case to make myself feel better. Like, I'm literally going to put 60 warp spiders.
I mean, why not just say it's 50 warp spiders and a Wraith Knight?
Yeah, the Wraith Knight gets just figured out a sequence too.
That's true.
You're going to need the HQ though, so you're going to have to come. You're going to have to spend some points there, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, all of 90. Damn it. A Farseer on jet bike with some spirit stones and whatever else. $120, 120 points.
Very point appropriate.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So lastly that I'll say about this, all this does is make a already good unit infinity times better. And how many times a game is it going to happen? I just will tell you this much. How many units a game does a Warp Spider squad kill?
Oh my God, dude. It would have happened every time. Every Eldar opponent I played against would have had extra shooting on me all day, bro.
Yeah, and then also, let's talk about this. Like, we talk about warp charges. I only for everybody then, so I can counter argument this all day. They're like, well, Juice, you've already said that you're going to sink all your points to warp spiders. You're not going to have that many psychic dice. True, on turn 1. Then my whole entire army is going to shoot and pick up 4 units. Now I have 4 warp charges. I have 4 additional warp charges to make sure that my level 2 dude now has the 2 he comes with, the 4 unit I just killed, plus a D6. My man is going to be rocking 10 warp charges. I cast 2 sides. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't that hard. I'm going to get off what I want.
Yep.
So...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also it's good not to put super stock in it too, because like you could always just play it against Sisters, a silence, and come out of escape hatch. You're like, okay, I'm so glad I didn't fucking worry about it.
You don't care, because guess what? I don't need the psychic ability to go off to get my star nut bust ability.
No, every time that I play an Eldar guy and he's Farseer arbitrarily throws guide on something, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, you really wasted our time for that. You could have just told me you're doing it.
Thanks, Doug.
It's like, so
word. Well, I'm glad we talk about these guys getting better and being competitive now. So I hope y'all took some notes. We kind of rambled there, but I think y'all get the gist of some ways that you can play Eldar better now.
We got the jizz. That's right. 2018 LVO winner. 60 Warp Spiders and a Wraith Knight.
Stephen Fore the winner.
That's it. That ain't it.
And we've got Andrew Staniford with us today, the best Age of Sigmar player in the history of ever, according to the LVO and the internet. What's up, Andrew?
How's it going?
Andrew, I want you to know when people Google search you, that's actually what you type. It gets typed in.
Yeah, it's your new title.
You actually just type in Andrew, and then it just stops. First name, last name, best ever. That's how it comes up now.
There you go. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, no, you're right. I actually just confirmed that in my Google browser. That's exactly
under
nice.
that. So, Andrew, congratulations. Let me be the first one of us to do it. Congratulations on a solid victory. Age of Sigmar AOS LVO this year had like 80 people. Is that right?
Yeah, it's 84 register. I think it started off with about 82 day one.
Okay. That's sick. And then now, is it still the same format as the Champions? Was it 6 games?
Yeah, it was 6 games. Yeah, 3 in day 1, 3 in day 2.
Wow, solid.
Mm-hmm.
That is incredible. First off, to do anything 6-0, So congratulations. Well, if it's okay with everybody else, I'd love to dive right in and start talking about toughest matchup. What did the Age of Sigmar look like in the room? Give us some details of it that only you saw.
It was pretty awesome, to be honest. The hobby was definitely there. Like, all the armies were painted to a high quality. I actually played against one of the opponents played a Sylvaneth that was painted by our very true Kitty Boucher here.
What?
Adam Stein.
I don't believe you.
Oh, Adam's a great guy, man. He's really cool.
Yeah, Adam Stein. The legendary Adam Stein. Yeah, he was in full force.
Yeah, we'll have to tell that story later about how he bailed us out of Buca de Pepo because we had made a horrible mistake.
Made some crucial decisions that went awry.
We'll tell that story later.
Nice.
He actually spoke at the game fondly. He's like, "Well, I got decimated by the guy who won the tournament, totally tabled," and then he was like, "And the guy who was literally last place, I tabled."
There you go.
And I was like, "Word."
It's all full circle.
Basically means you basically got second place based on what that means.
That's what
He's like, yeah. I was like, what about the other games? We're not talking about the other games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Actually, I wasn't even supposed to play Adam Stein round 4. My opponent showed up a little bit late. I guess he thought it was supposed to be at 10 o'clock, and it was supposed to be like the scheduling was at 9:30. So they ended up putting me against Adam Stein because he was the next closest to me during the round 4 pairings. And then I ended up actually facing my original round 4 in round 6 on the top table.
Gangsta. Awesome. So beautiful. Now, Andrew, I have to admit, we've heard Haspil and I were talking about how amazing 30K, the 30K models were. And I was like, man, I've heard just as much positive stuff about the Age of Sigmar. So obviously we know Kenny had an amazingly painted army there that he had done as a commission. Across the board, everybody else, the other 81 players, did it look good?
Oh yeah, it looked awesome. I mean, there's a lot of greatly painted armies there. There's even a really cool converted army that was Stormcast, but it was like part dwarf.
Oh, fresh!
Like using dwarfs into the Stormcast models. So it was pretty sweet, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I got that mithril.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he actually had like a whole theme behind it, like the names for the units and all that. So people definitely brought their hobby and their painting skills to the table for the AOS event. And it was pretty awesome.
That's what's up. So before we talk about the games, can you give everybody a quick rundown? You don't have to go into as much detail or whatever you'd like, but some potential other European people that watching on during the live cast at LVO, and some other people maybe kind of confused about your list. And I guess there was some thought process of, hey, are we not as competitive maybe here in the States at Age of Sigmar versus Europe or anything else? But obviously you brought home the gold. So tell us a couple things about your list. A, did you print it off the internet because it was really good and you saw somebody else play it? Are these like your home brewed units that you like? Where are we at with that?
So it's 100% home brewed. Like, it took me about maybe a month or two to fine tune it. I actually ended up tuning it with my two of my club mates, James Tapia and Alric Edge, part of the Rolling Bad podcast and club. It starts off with the Wardens of the Realm Gate Battalion. Inside that, it has the Lord Castellan, which targets the unit, gives it +1 save. Then it had a 10-man unit of Protector Paladins with 4-star Soul Maces. And then 2 units of 5 Liberators. And the battalion, what it does is it creates a bubble off of the Protectors. Every unit within that battalion, within 6 inches, rerolls all failed saves.
Wow.
So yeah, it was basically kind of creating my own like fortress, just moving across the table.
3 up rerollables, right? 4 up rerollables?
4 up rerollables, yeah. And then I'd buff certain units during certain turns in the game.
So for, in layman's term, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like all us Age of Sigmar players that haven't played competitive yet, like myself and some of the guys in this area, you literally just blew our minds. Like, homie, you were walking around with 4 up rerollable saves in Age of Sigmar. Like, that is unreal. Like in multiple units, not even just like a single unit. You're like spawning off that. Like that's solid work.
Oh yeah, it definitely like walked around the table. It was very hard to deal with for a lot of opponents, especially if you had no rend. But to follow up all that, the rest of the list, for start off with my heroes, I had a Lord Celestin with the Relic Blade, which is adds +1 damage. I had a Knight Venator, which is the bow bro with wings. A Lord Relictor, a Mistweaver Sai, which was a Dark Elf Wizard, which helps me with the Realm Gate because the battalion that I took also includes a Realm Gate into the battalion, which helps you kind of teleport around the table as long as you start within 6 inches of it.
Okay.
Then it had, going to the basic units, I had 3 units of Prosecutors with Javelins and Trident. Then a unit of Fulminators because I love my Fulminators, the guys that ride the Drakos with big old swords, kind of like spears.
Fresh.
And then 2 Gryph-hounds, and I think that was the primary force. And then in Age of Sigmar tournament, they allowed the sideboard, which was very, like, it helped integrate the whole list itself because the main list was very dependent upon the sideboard, depending on the matchup. In the sideboard, I had a Knight Heralder, which was good for the Sylvaneths because if you target a piece of terrain, every unit within D6 inches takes D3 mortal wounds. And wow. Sylvaneth usually bundle around one of those Sylvaneth Wildwoods, which is usually like 3 of those kind of woods that you have for the Citadel Woods. All joined together. Then it had a Knight Azeros and 2 units of 5 Liberators, which I'd either add to the original 5 to make 10-man units, or play them separately as 4 5-man units, and a final Prosecutor unit. So that would make the 3 total. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's so. I just want to talk about before you talk about the games. That is awesome. I didn't realize that. I guess that they did all the different sideboards. Like we don't see that often anymore. Like that's huge.
Yeah, it was a 2,000 match play with a 500-point sideboard.
No, that's gangster. I can't even remember the last time. I think the last time that I had that was at a South Carolina tournament. Maybe that Mike Twitchell was running, and that's been probably 5 or 6 years ago. That is a phenomenal concept. Okay, so 6 games. You ended 6-0. Let's run down favorite opponent. What was the hardest army you played? Give us some juicy details.
So I'd have to cut it down to like the 2 hardest were my round 2 and round 5 opponents. Round 2 was against Stormcast Eternals. It was the Warrior Brotherhood, kind of the classic where a lot of people are running that around the world. It was a guy named Tyler Amoy, very solid. I kind of planned out how I would play against the Warrior Brotherhood. I played against enough of it with a buddy of mine, Ryan Taylor. Got some practice in. We did like an LVO prep a couple months back. That one was really solid. Awesome game. Great guy. Enjoyed the whole thing. That was actually my 1 minor win. The other 5 games were major wins. And then my round 5 opponent was against Ben Moley, and he was running Corn Demons with some Bloodbound. He was running like 3 Blood Secrators, which had +1 attacks to all units within 18 inches if you plant the standard.
Good old Ben.
Yeah, right. 2 units of 30 Bloodletters. It's very it has a lot of mortal wound output in the whole army. He also had the Saw the Faithless, that dirty bastard that sends units flying. And on his sideboard, he also had the Changeling, which can be really effective in key matchups, especially the one where he faced me. But I guess he didn't know one of my abilities with the Knight Vexillor that I was running. That was the other hero. I forgot about him. I always forget about him. But the Knight Vexillor has the ability to use his once per game ability to teleport any unit in your army on the table, anywhere else on the table, as long as it's outside 3 inches. The thing with the Changeling is you can actually teleport within 3 inches of him in the hero phase. And if any hero lands within 3 inches of him in the hero phase, he's immediately revealed, because until then you can't target him at all, like shoot, charge, nothing. And I was able to do that. And I did my Knight of Zeros, which has a special lantern that every Chaos unit within 8 inches takes D6 mortal wounds on top of the D3 on a 4+. So I think I did like 35 mortal wounds when I dropped my Zeros right in his front lines next to his Changeling, and it definitely caught him off guard for sure.
Holy gosh, 35 mortal wounds. Like Robbie B.
That sounds rough.
Haspil, Robbie B. I just want to make sure I'm like understanding.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Do you guys realize when we're like, yeah, man, like we're those 40K guys that are like, oh yeah, we know this, and then we're like, oh, obviously Age of Sigmar, that's cute, let's play this. And then I'm so glad I didn't play at the Champions at LVO, like with Age of Sigmar. Like,
that's exactly the same thing. I would have been like, oh, I guess I just take my whole army off the board.
Yeah, I thought I was doing work when I could do like 12 to 13 mortal wounds in one volley with my Beast Claws, but 35 seems like more than 13.
So come to find out, like the poor bastards of the opponents that had to play Andrew was like, yo, I brought the 4 of rerollable army that also turn 1 is going to potentially do 35 mortal wounds. Get good.
Yeah, there's actually points in multiple games, a lot of my games, where I made it up 2 up rerollable because the Lord Castellan targets a unit, gives them +1 save, and then the Deceiver Sai is a wizard, which I cast Mystic Shield on top of that. So you can stack those as well. Usually I'd start off on the Outer Rim on the Liberators, because obviously you can't really get to my Paladins very well. But once they kind of dwindle out and I want to break out, I do it on the Paladins and really start to do work.
That is unreal. So you had some great games. That's tight. Let's talk about it's something that we keep bringing up a lot when we talk about Age of Sigmar. How is the game mechanic? We both roll a dice, and whoever rolls highest gets to take the top of the next turn. How does that affect? How does that play out in a tournament? We see what happens on camera. We see what happens when we play in our Beats Lab. But like in the tournament setting, how huge is that?
Funny enough, I actually only won out of all my games, out of all 6 games and all the rounds that I played in each game. I won 1 priority roll, and that was in game 1 on turn 2. It was the only priority one I won the entire tournament.
Are you kidding me? That is
not kidding you.
Wow.
Yeah, I never once won it after that. I kept losing. It was just like, it was crazy the whole day. I'm just like looking at it, I was like, wow. It's like I was still able to put myself in good situations where even a double turn wouldn't cripple me. And then I could capitalize at the end of that turn, and then they'd go, and then I'd finally sometimes give me the end of the game, kind of like bottom of turn 5, bottom of turn 4, stuff like that.
So just a quick thought process, when you came up with this, when you found this gem, this unicorn of rules, which allowed you to have that reroll and then potentially stacking combos to get you a better save, did you try to come up with that because you're like, yo, I need to counteract the ability of maybe having that double turn done against me in a tournament? Or is this just some rules you came across?
Actually, it was I come across it quite a while back. I actually wanted to go to the LVO and try and win a GT without the Warrior Brotherhood, and try and just be competitive without it, because the Warrior Brotherhood was like the new hotness, because I actually played it before it was even in the General's Handbook, back when it was South Coast points. I was playing it last year, and I actually played at the Slobber Knocker event in Oklahoma City. I won it, with that, but I just felt like it wasn't exact. I mean, like I did really good with it, but it wasn't my exact play style. So I kept trying to find other things and kept looking through all the war scrolls, and I fell in love with the Wardens of the Realm Gate. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this to the LVO. Kept perfecting it, perfecting it, the whole list, putting it together, taking some stuff out, putting some stuff in, and finally found the right recipe that worked for me.
Yeah,
well, I don't think anything is wrong with a particular character that can teleport things, because especially Age of Sigmar. Now, I'm not familiar with what maybe we should caveat what the missions were for this event, because I'm actually not familiar, but I know being able to pick up your stuff, and of course the Sigmar guys can teleport in 9 inches away from stuff already in a lot of instances. But being able to be on the table already and then teleport around through using the gates or using the Vexillor is pretty powerful. So how did the matches go? Like, what were the overall objectives generally?
Round 1 was Taken Hold, kind of similar to what's the one where you have 2 objectives in 40K? It's been a while. I always just call it freaking
Emperor's Will.
Wins. Yeah, it's First Blood. That's what I always called it.
Yeah, roll dice and tie.
So Taken Hold is where you have an objective about 9 inches out on the middle of your table edge, and your opponent has the same. And starting in round 3, if either opponent controls at any point after round 3 starts, if any player controls both objectives, they immediately win the game. If it goes to turn 5 and nobody has both objectives, then it becomes a minor win instead of a major win, and you go by victory points. Then they literally went down the list, and if you look in the General's Handbook from 1 to 6.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So number 2 was Blood and Glory, and that's where you have 1 in the center of each corner. I think it's 18 by 12 out of each corner of the table. And it's basically the same thing as Taken Hold, where if you at any point control all 4 objectives after turn 3 starts, you win a major victory. If you don't, it goes to a minor victory based off of victory points.
And that just, the second that happens, the game is over?
The game is over at the end of that turn. Like, so say I have all 4 objectives at the end of my turn, and say I get the top of turn 3, my opponent does not get a turn 4, the game's over.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, were you able to pull that down on anybody that weekend?
In round 1, I did. Round 2, I was not. I actually failed a charge on turn 5 to try and claim the major victory. But I think it was like a 7-inch charge to try and, because what you have to do is you have to have more models than your opponent around the objective.
Yeah. To
claim it. And I just came up just shy of getting next to the final objective to be able to control it over my opponent. So the second one was a minor win for me. And then round 3 was Escalation, which you have, it's the Vanguard deployment. And you have 1 in the very middle of the table, then 1 12 inches out from the corner of each side. So you have 3 objectives. And from turn 2 all the way to turn 5, if you control the objective, you get a point per objective you control. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.
Gotcha.
That's cool. The round 3, and then round 4 is Border Patrol, where there's 4 objectives, kind of plus symbol. 1 in your deployment zone, 1 in your opponent, and then 2 in the middle.
Oh, and they're worth different points.
Yeah, exactly. The 1 in yours is worth 1. The ones in the middle are worth 2, and the 1 in your opponent's deployment zone is worth 4. And the same thing.
They were all kind of those objective-based kind of type deals. So this seems like this was a great choice, as a sideboard, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. My sideboard definitely helped me out in a lot of games, like swapping out against certain opponents. Being helpful in certain ways, depending on which opponent I was facing or which army I was facing.
Did we already decide what your bad matchup is?
My strong, the hardest matchup I had ended up being like the toughest game I had was, I'd say it was between 2 and 5, which was the Stormcast army and the Khorne army in round 5.
And
I only got a minor win in the second one, so I guess you could say that one was less successful.
did you predict that those would be bad matchups for you, mirror matches and corn?
Actually, I didn't even completely think about that corn one. I like when I saw it on the table, I knew what it was capable of doing. I just had to plan it out on how I would respond to it. It was definitely strong. I had to feed units to it and then whittle it down to where it wasn't as effective. But the bonus thing with facing against the corn army is that was the one where I was playing 3 places of power, where you have 3 objectives in the middle, spaced out 18 inches apart from each other, and you control them by having characters on them. At the beginning of at the end of your movement phase, if you end a hero next to the objective, you gain a point. But if that hero stays there in your following turn, you gain 2 points on that following turn, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. If you can keep your characters there. And I was able to keep my characters there while killing a couple of his key characters, and keeping him away from being able to gain the points needed to try and catch up to me.
So you were able to get it to rack up so fast that you were just now fighting him to win at that point, to keep the lead.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't even need to keep the lead anymore. You were just now it's just about keeping you from getting any points.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
so you got a pretty decisive win point wise, but you said obviously you had to really counteract Ben's chaos models.
Oh yeah, the total.
But he is the guy. He's the guy you hit the bot with the 36 kill bomb on turn 1 with, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely, because he had so many models. I mean, in 3 units, he had 90 models. He had 2 units of 30 bloodletters and a 30-man unit of marauders.
So you ruined some ass with that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the thing with his army was, though, his entire army was immune to battle shock because of those standards that he has as well. So I couldn't really just scare him off by just doing a crap load of damage. I had to kill the entire.
You
unit.
Literally have to kill them all.
Yeah.
Well, I had a question about this because I've played the starter army enough to know what the security does, and that he has this weird. He had, like you said, he has 18-inch bubble, but the problem is that the blood weavers and warriors and the mortal guys run up so fast in their craze to come to grips that a lot of times they get out of range of these, and they're just kind of standing there in the backfield, kind of in the open.
That's actually one of the tricks that you have to try and plan out, especially with blood reavers, because they can be so many. You stretch the unit out where only one model is within the 18 inches of that bubble at the beginning of your combat phase, and the entire unit gets it.
Well, right. I'm tracking on that, but my thing that I was saying is they are technically, I guess, in the open. So if you have something that can fly, it can kind of jump over the battle line and go after those characters kind of in the backfield because they're kind of vulnerable, so to speak.
The best way to get to them, just because there's so many models, you can bubble wrap them because unlike 40,
Gotcha.
You can actually shoot them, but you can't ever come in contact with them unless you're within 3 inches. But obviously he's bubble wrapping them with 90 models. So you're never going to get to them. So I literally never could have gotten them until round 4 or 5. Just because there were so many models surrounding them.
Yeah, I guess that's what I hadn't seen yet is just that type of army with so many models.
Mm-hmm.
Because mostly playing with the starter set, you're 700 points or something.
Yeah, I mean, you could, if you really wanted to, because Reavers are so darn cheap, you could surround a couple of Blood Segrators with 60 Blood Reavers for 360 points, because there's 60 points for 10 of them each.
Wow.
So, you could bubble wrap that stuff pretty easy. And make it where it's tough to get rid of all, do that amount of wounds over.
So your only bad matchups, you persevered over them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you're describing a very nasty list, and then I know the end of the story is you won.
Mm-hmm. the actual, I think me and him combined, we had maybe about 12 models left on the table combined. I think I had 2 or 3 more models than he did left on. Yeah,
those are always the most epic games. Is where 2 great players, 2 great armies, everything's looking cool, and literally the game ends with 7 total models on the board.
Yeah, it was definitely a battlefield, and there was a lot of blood for the blood god on that battlefield for sure.
Absolutely. Well, guys, anything else for the champion of all champions, Age of Sigmar? Guru.
Well, I'd like to ask, what's the name of your gaming club that you guys play in, and where can people find it?
I'm a part of the Rolling Bad Club in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We the desolate wastes of Albuquerque, New Mexico. We actually have a podcast that goes on that Elric Edge is the host of, with James Tapia and Bill Castillo. I also have a fellow club mate, Ryan Taylor, who lives out of Durango. He comes down as much as he can when he can. But yeah, we have a couple of other club members that we're trying to get in there. We're still starting off small, but I mean, obviously, it's not the biggest place in the world. But no, you got to start off somewhere, right?
Absolutely, man. We believe me. So you're telling me it's just easy, right? You just get on there and there's no work involved and everything else, right? It's as easy as pie. Because that's what everybody tells us. Like
to get started in AOS.
No. Just like in podcasting and talking and everything else. There's more where people don't realize how much actual work goes behind in it and stuff. So, that's awesome that you guys are getting together and spreading some knowledge.
Oh yeah, it's definitely tough. Bill's the tech guy and does all the editing and all that stuff, and we all do it at his house. And then Elric's the host, and James Tapia, he's the painting guru / competitive dude. Me, I'm just the guy that goes into tournaments and apparently wrecks face. That's what they keep telling me.
Yeah.
Every group needs one of you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Andrew the face wrecker.
Yep.
There you go.
I think Tony Montana said it best. Is like everybody needs the bad guy, right?
I'll be the bad guy if somebody needs one.
Hell yeah.
It's definitely a great crew. They actually started up the podcast maybe around last, I want to say June or maybe May, somewhere around there.
Well, that's good.
Awesome. Yeah, so they've been staying on pretty strong. I think they just finished episode 18, which they had me on.
And this is, you said Rolling Bad?
Yeah, Rolling Bad, because it's out of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
So it's like Breaking Bad.
So,
oh, I see. Yeah. Rolling Bad. So there it is, guys. Check that out. I think that's going to be it for tonight, my man Andrew. And I would say, don't go breaking new armies without emailing us first.
All right, sounds good. I'll definitely do that.
Absolutely, Andrew. Thanks for coming on, and again, congratulations on the big W.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it was definitely an awesome feeling for sure winning the LVO.
All right, Haspil, take us out, buddy.
The children of Doom, Doom's children. They told my lord the way to the mountain of power. They told him to throw down his sword and return to the earth. Ha! Time enough for the earth and the grave.